Welcome back to my channel where I flip furniture for a profit. This nightstand didn't have anything wrong with it. I actually got it for free on the side of the road, mind you. You might remember the royal blue set I did in one of the previous videos. Here is a pic for a reminder, but I will link the video below so you can watch it if you like. Well, I ended up separating the set. A customer ended up purchasing the dresser for a nursery. Another customer purchased a nightstand, but she wanted another one to match. Since I already used original knobs on the royal blue set, I had to use different hardware for this nightstand. Thankfully, they were okay with that. For the first step, I'm cleaning the nightstand with LA's Totally Awesome Degreaser, which you can find local at your Dollar Tree. You can also use any good degreaser, or even dish soap and water, or Simple Green is a good one. The most important thing is to make sure you remove all the dirt and grime, grease, fingerprints, and buildup before sanding. After using degreaser, I always wipe down everything with clean water and a fresh rag. This helps remove any leftover residue from the cleaner so you're left with a clean surface. And as always, all of my products I'm using in this video will be linked in the description if they are available and if you want to check them out. Next, I'm removing all of the hardware, which there's only 2 on this nightstand. I usually take the hardware off first prior to cleaning, but this piece was pretty clean except the top. I'll also be replacing the original hardware on this nightstand. I will be keeping the original hardware though for another furniture flip. And here's my old mask from 2020 that I've somehow been using for the past 6 years. I promise I'm finally going to order a new one. I do replace the filters regularly though, but seriously, this mask is literally disintegrating. Next, I'm sanding everything down with 120 grit sandpaper. I'm not trying to completely strip the existing finish because this nightstand is plywood. I'm just giving the surface a good rough scuff. This creates some texture for the primer and paint to grab onto, which helps adhesion and gives me a better, more durable finish. Next, I'm filling the old hardware holes with Bondo and putty knife. I always make sure to wear gloves because, as you probably can tell, I'm a little messy when I'm working with Bondo. I also noticed a gap on the top that didn't look right, so I filled that as well. Once the Bondo is applied, I let it sit for 20 minutes usually to let it dry, then sand everything down until it's nice and flush with the surface and smooth enough to paint. Prime time! I'm using Zinsser 123 primer to get this piece ready for the best part, paint. And before anyone comes at me in the comments about the way I'm brushing this on, I promise I don't care. I know how I paint and I know what works for me. Plus, I sand in between my layers with a fine grit sandpaper, which smooths everything out and gives me that nice even finish. So let me paint the way I want to paint. It's finally time for the first coat of paint. Yay! I'm using this beautiful dark blue, but honestly, I have no clue what I actually used for this color. I had 3 different blues left from previous flips, so I decided to mix all of them together and see what color I got. I ended up doing 2 coats of blue. I sprayed the nightstand without the drawers, then I put the drawers back in and sprayed again. I did it this way so I could get all those areas behind the drawer fronts covered without having to go back in with a paintbrush. It saves me a little time and gave me a much more even finish. For the final step, well, not final because I still have to add the hardware back on, but I applied 2 coats of clear satin polyacrylic. This gives the nightstand some protection. Here's a reminder of what this nightstand looked like before. It was free roadside find that definitely had potential. And now it's time to see what a little paint, elbow grease, and a whole lot of love can do. Let's take a look at this transformation. That dark blue turned out so beautiful and matches the customer's other nightstand. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this furniture flip. I'll see you all in a few days for the next flip, and I promise no blue this time. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!